Mm. Okay, let's take out these boys. Or no, you know what? We can take them out from afar and not be in danger getting electrocuted. Oh, that little bastard got through. I didn't know these guys were that fast. All right. Boop. Take that, ass wipe. Oh. Oh, did I make myself a makeshift shelter? Sort of. Well, you can't really make a shelter in this game like you can in Tears of the Kingdom, where you can actually build yourself a house. Do I prefer the building Zelda, the construction type Zelda, the constructs, the doozer type, the Lego type Zelda? Um, yes. You do. Okay, so I believe that we could do this. Yeah, it's like, okay, we'll use this scimitar here. Okay, uh-oh, we're about to blow up, dog. All right, let's get out of that. All right, we didn't really do the timber the way we wanted it to, huh? Can't really move non-metallic objects to make a shelter. Oh well. Yeah. Do I prefer the game where you can't really control or construct things in the environment? I think I do like the Tears of the Kingdom better in a lot of ways because it has um, all those features. But the problem with Tears of the Kingdom is that um, Breath of the Wild feels more expansive because yeah. So I think the perfect Zelda game would be an open world that was very very large and uh, larger than it is, and then it would also be like yeah. Well, they at least they have a little built-in cave, but still, it's kind of more fun to construct your own shelter, isn't it? Yeah, basically. And yeah, that's more like. Hmm. So I think a perfect game would have the construction abilities of, maybe they could have all the abilities of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and maybe it could be bigger than Tears of the Kingdom, so it would have a huge variety of worlds to explore with all those, so it wouldn't feel cluttered. I think Tears of the Kingdom feels cluttered, is kind of the issue with it. It has so much going on that it feels like kind of a bit of a clusterfuck in a way, I guess is how you call it, a clusterfuck, and that's not good. So because when I'm feeling when I'm going through the Breath of the Wild, it feels very expansive, and it feels like, wow, this is so expansive. But in Tears of the Kingdom, sometimes it still feels a little expansive, but it kind of feels more. For some reason, it has three worlds going on, the depths, and I guess it's because in the Breath of the Wild, the overworld is uh, bigger, and they don't have the sky world, and uh, I think if you have one continuous world, it gives the sense that it's really big, and if now, I'm sure the idea of making a underworld and a sky world besides overworld, the idea was that it would seem like it was, wow, this game is just so big. And it is really big, but it doesn't seem seamless or continuous. It seems kind of disconnected. So, and the overworld seems shrunken down to uh, a cluster degree, unfortunately. So, maybe I'd prefer a Zelda game with a massive overworld in which you could build your own uh, transportation and fighting machines and all that. So we'll see what I guess the next Zelda game is like, what, a fighting game or something. It's like Zelda Warriors. It's not a Zelda game proper, is it? It's called Hyrule Warriors: The Age of Calamity or some shit. That's more like an action game. It's not really like an RPG necessarily. So I guess after Nintendo Switch 2 is shelved eventually, that they'll come out with the Nintendo Next eventually. So I look forward to when they come out with the system Nintendo Next, if that's what it's going to be called, but that's just what I call it right now, tentatively. Would you say tentatively or would you say tentatively? Well, it depends on how you want to say it, really. Tentatively. Tinta lovely. Ooh. Tits a lovely? Or you'd rather have tits a lovely, huh? Tits a lovely. Yeah, somebody said I had great taste in women. Well, it's kind of interesting to have great taste in women, but you're not able to get one. So, or you don't even give a fuck. So it's kind of like, just look. It's kind of like being poor and you're wandering through the richest. You know, it's kind of like you're poor and you're wandering through Saks Fifth Avenue and you don't have any money or something. It's kind of like that. So, if you're looking at really sexy, fertile women with big tits, but you don't have any money, that's what it feels like. Or you don't give a shit anymore. That's pretty much what the feeling is like. So it's kind of like going to the Mercedes-Benz dealership with zero cash and just checking out the cars. It's just not cool. And at that point, do this more like Excalibur type sword here. Mm-hmm. All right, Christmas gifts incoming today from the Woodlands Mall. All right, still a nice mall. I heard. I heard it hasn't turned like Willowbrook to Willowhood, so it hasn't turned into a ghetto. So at least not yet. I think the people in the Woodlands have it so like um, the people in Woodlands, Texas, they have it so protected, deed restricted that they're not going to allow it to turn into the ghetto. It's like the Houston Galleria, so they're just making a stand against the ghetto, and so it's not going to become like a third world cesspool. Like they're making a pretty concerted effort to make sure it doesn't. And it's not just white people; it's just people that live in the Woodlands. They're trying to keep it like a nice. They're trying to maintain that nice enclave so the Woodlands doesn't become the Hoodlands. And but the Galleria is going to shit, and so is Houston's Galleria, which used to be this fancy posh area, but now it's just going to hell in a handbasket. And then Willowbrook Mall died a long time ago, became the ghetto, became the Hoodlands. I mean the Willow Hood, but Woodlands has not become the Hoodlands. I think because they have so much invested in there, it's just not going to happen. Thankfully, I guess for a while. But there's so many companies. There's so many things like concert venues and restaurants and shopping, and so the Market Street, they have so much invested in keeping that shit. Movie theaters. It's supposed to be a big like tourist destination, the Woodlands sort of. So it's supposed to be kept up to a certain code, a certain standard. So they even have gondolas and waterways, and I guess it's trying to be the crappy imitation of Venice, Italy, or something like that. The Texas version of Italy is what it's trying to be, I suppose. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, I know they said there's an accomplice released to the shooter in Brown University. Guess what? It looks like a she, I guess, kind of an overweight she, like the shooter, and the person has a hijab, which is a Muslim type covering. In Muslim Sharia law in Islam, women are not supposed to expose their hair or parts of their body. So yeah, it looks like a Muslim woman in the frame. And then I guess after this bombshell, they're going to finally release the identity of the man once they capture him. Uh, and then they're going to do a press conference where they try to come up with the politically correct statement they're going to give. They're going to say um, the problem is not Islam. It's not. I'm sorry. The problem is terrorism, not the religion of Islam. And then that's what they're going to say. And is it going to be bullshit? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's going to be some leftist bull fucking shit. But that's what they're going to go with at Brown University of Rhode Island. Yeah. Was I surprised that the person walking by the shooter had a hijab? I don't think anybody was surprised. They knew it wasn't a 24-year-old white man with blonde hair. I'll tell you that. Everybody kind of smelled bullshit on that. But that was a diversionary tactic from the truth. That was to throw the public off from the truth, and that's not good. But the truth will come out, and the truth will. They're probably going to act like they led a flawless investigation and they didn't try to uh, interject a agenda into their investigation, but that's not true. So they will try to pretend that they sought out this perpetrator in earnest, but I don't think people are going to buy it. Maybe some people fall for it, but oh yeah, Ted Theodore Kaczynski, the Unabomber. He, I mistakenly said he went to Caltech. It was University of California at Berkeley. I just couldn't think of it at that time when I was talking about it, and I just pulled something out of my ass. So that's my addendum correction right there. That's my revision. It was close, but no cigar. So in the ballpark, but it wasn't the home run. So Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, went to Michigan State and Harvard University, and then he taught at the University of California at Berkeley, so USC. Da, da, da. So Venezuela under Maduro regime itself has been declared a terrorist state. So it's been blockaded by the U.S. military, the U.S. Navy and Marines, and Air Force, and other assets. So yeah, adios Maduro. So they're going to give him an ultimatum: leave, or we're going to make you leave. And actually, to kind of, you would hope that people would want self-preservation, but sometimes when people just want control and power over millions of people, they don't make the right decision. So I think this guy really wants to be he does not want to leave power and control and authority. And it's like a drug. And that's, unfortunately, that's what it is. So he's probably going to have to be, Trump is probably going to say, uh, leave, get the fuck out, and let the opposition government take over and the people take back over. You're not a legitimate president. Bye bye. And Maduro's going to be like, no, I will get kamikaze suicide soldiers. I will surround myself with civilians. I will do all, I will try to enlist the help of China and Russia and Iran and North Korea. Go fuck yourself. So we'll see how this plays out. My estimate of how this is going to play out is that Maduro is going to be deceived. He's going to be drunk with his own power and authoritarianism, his own dictatorship, and that it's going to blind him to saving his own or preserving his own life, which is supposed to be a basic fundamental. Typically, a human being would try to preserve his own life first and foremost, instead of getting blown away in a military conflict. Typically, but you know, dictators don't always follow these uh, basic human tenets, probably because they think they've been in power so long in their nations that they probably think they're some sort of god, or that they're immune to mortal considerations. So he's going to refuse to step down, and then the bombs are going to rain down, and whoever's on Maduro's side is going to get blown away, and their ass is going to be toast. And anybody who supports them, the Chinese communists, the Russian Federation, North Korea, and Iran, they're going to get their asses blown away too, and all the oil of the richest oil reserves in the entire world in Venezuela will be taken over and possessed by the United States of America. And that is probably what is going to happen. President Donald John Trump is doing his speech tonight, which is a one-year celebration of his achievements so far, kind of a State of the Union before the State of the Union, the State of the Union of the Trump presidency in the second term. And I would not be surprised if tonight he tells us that Maduro's days are numbered, and don't be surprised if the bombs, if it's under the missile throw this Christmas. Ah, under the missile throw. I like that. The kiss of death. Ah, under a kiss under the missile throw. One of my favorites. Does CNN still have good war coverage, like in the Persian Gulf, or the Iraq and Iran wars? Do they still? I know the Persian Gulf War. They were all over that for 24-hour war content. So I don't know if I'd watch CNN. Maybe they're not that good. Maybe Fox News is better at it these days. But CNN used to be the king back 30 years ago. Probably not anymore. Booyate in the butthole. In your butthole. Ah. So drug boats will be blown up, oil tankers will be seized, and Maduro will be destroyed. Adios, Maduro. Or what? Somebody said adios, muchacho. I thought about saying adios, muchacho, but it's not that my Spanish is that bad. All right.